I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hello and good evening. I'm Susan Bender Phelps, and I am your host for tonight's Zoom fundraiser for Washington County kids, our future, our community, our kids. That's what it's all about. We're thrilled to see all of you at our Reach for the Stars event. This is the first time we've ever tried to do a fundraiser virtually. So hang in there with us. The technology is what it is, and we promise to do the best possible and bring you a great evening, even though it's just about an hour. For the best viewing experience, we recommend that you toggle between speaker view and gallery view. You can do that, but we want you to use your speaker view, and that way you'll always see the person who's speaking and you won't have to go between screens. We also have all of our links and reminders in our Zoom chat, and if you click on the screen, you get three little dots on the left, and you can join into the chat. If you've never done that before, it's a great way to see who else is here, and also you'll be able to get all of the links to all of the options that you have an opportunity to participate in tonight. You were serenaded as you joined us by Peter Vick. He plays wonderful music. He's been at our last few fundraisers, and he'll be back in a little while. The reason we're on Zoom is because of COVID, and he's written a song called the COVID time blues. I think all of us can relate. Also with us tonight is Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici and a video from Senator Jeff Merkley. The silent auction is still going on, so you can keep bidding. There are so many great items, and you'll actually be notified every time you're outbid. And it looks like I'm going to be too busy, so you can outbid me all night long. Also, if you haven't bought them yet, buy your raffle tickets. They're just $5 for a chance to win the Montanore and More wine basket. It's a beautiful gift. There it is. And if you received a message that it was changed, the only thing that was changed was the description. This is the gift you'll receive if you are the lucky winner of our raffle. The silent auction will end at 7:15, so you can keep shopping right up until then. And then tomorrow or the next day, you'll be contacted regarding delivery, pickup, or shipping, depending upon where you are and what you've won. We are so delighted that tonight our silent auction donors have made this event possible. Please, I hope you enjoy shopping, and if you didn't win an event, make a note of all the wonderful donors. And I would say stop by and see them or shop with them online after this event. Let them know that you appreciate what they did by contributing to the Reach for the Stars event for Washington County kids. And we have a door prize, our beautiful commemorative Washington County Kids mug. Senator Chuck Riley is modeling it for us. He does not come with the mug. And another big thank you to our sponsors. We have a phenomenal list of corporate and individual sponsors. As a matter of fact, this is our first Zoomraiser, but it's also the biggest number of sponsors we've ever had for any of our events. Please, again, if you know any of these wonderful sponsors, let them know you appreciate what they've done by sponsoring this event tonight. And now, here's Peter with the COVID time blues.
I'm sitting alone, I've got so much to do. I can't leave my home and I so miss you. I don't want to Zoom, I'm tired of that game. I miss my family, man, it's such a drain. People gotta eat, they gotta pay their rent, but the government stimulus has all been spent. Bank and corporate greed, they sucked it dry so damn fast they left nothing for you or I. But I'm self-isolated, irritated, need some good news. Unraveling, not traveling, I'm tired of these COVID time blues. My friend has a fever and a dry cough too. He can't get a test 'cause there's too damned few. All he can do is wait and rest, avoid the ventilator and hope for the best. Now some cops have gone and murdered an unarmed man, sparked peaceful protest throughout the land. Though it's happened before, maybe this is the day. Enough anger spills out to guide our way. Meanwhile I'm self-isolated, irritated, need some good news. Sighing, sometimes crying, keep on trying, what else to do? Unraveling, not traveling, I really hate these COVID time blues. Through it all, I'll maintain some trust that things will get better, they surely must. Black Lives Matter, healthcare for all. Wake up, America, and heed the call. But now I'll keep writing and singing this song. Join with me and let's sing along. For now I'll just distance and wait for the day we step up and finally find our way. Still I'm self-isolated, irritated, need some good news. Sigh and sometimes cry and keep on trying, what else to do? Unraveling, not traveling, I'm tired of these damn blues. Find a silver lining worth divining, kick these COVID time blues.
Oh, thank you so much, Peter. That was wonderful. I know I certainly can relate to the COVID time blues. Next up, I want to introduce you to a very special man, Alex Diaz-Rios. Alex is a passionate advocate for education, and he's a first-generation college student and public school teacher. Alex serves as board president of the Willamette Chicano Alliance, a nonprofit that serves Latinx youth with college, career readiness, leadership, and mentoring programs. He was recently elected to the Portland Community College Board of Directors. That makes him the youngest ever board member to serve. We are delighted that he's found the time to serve on our Washington County Kids Board. Alex, it's all yours.
Let me move this out of the way real quick. The chat's in the way. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for that great introduction, Susan. Good evening, distinguished guest. Your support to Washington County kids is invaluable to me. Growing up in Washington County growing up in Washington County is such a privilege because of our strong community. When tough times come, we manage to do what is needed for those that are struggling. I've seen that during these unprecedented times as our leaders respond to the needs and complex problems caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. As a middle school teacher, there's a gap coming for the economic vitality and future leaders of our great community. Through virtually teaching and learning, it is apparent that many of our youth will face significant gaps in developing the skills necessary to participate in the workforce. Yet we must not feel a sense of demise, but instead we all have the opportunity to begin supporting the needs of our youth. I attribute my success to my family, but along the way in grade school, I joined Campfire Boys and Girls, an out-of-school program that grew my potential. The organization's former slogan resonates with me as truth as it did as I was a third grader. Today's kids, tomorrow's leaders. Campfire's dedicated staff help my confidence and leadership skills grow through interactive team building activities, nature exploration, tutoring, and so much more. I will forever hold these experiences and memories in my heart. I also felt seen and welcomed in my community. That is why I'm a board member of Washington County Kids. With your continued support and donations tonight, we can look out for the kids of today and ensure they become the leaders we need tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Alex. And now a brief video about our work for Washington County Kids.
We really need sustainable funding for out-of-school time programs. Kids need to have opportunities for inspiration and engagement with new experiences that will expand their horizons. We would love to have your support.
And next up, our featured guest, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. It's my honor to introduce you. Suzanne Bonamici has served as our representative for the 1st Congressional District since 2002. She works diligently to improve our lives in the areas of education, civil rights, human services, science and technology, the environment, human, and so much more. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici, who is here with us live.
Thank you so much, Susan. What a kind introduction. And thank you to Peter for that wonderful music. And of course, the Rileys for all you do, Chuck and Katie, Alex for your wonderful words. It's so great to have an opportunity to speak with you this evening, and to thank you for all the important work Washington County Kids does in our community. We are, of course, in challenging and unprecedented times for children and families and communities across Northwest Oregon. I've heard so many heartbreaking stories from people who are struggling, but I have to say I've also heard inspiring stories of people trying to find a way to help, stepping up and helping their friends and neighbors and community. You know, much of my work in Congress and before as a state legislator and before that as a community activist has been and continues to be focused on children and families. Right now, of course, addressing the unique challenges they're facing, the inequities that this pandemic has exposed and deepened. And it's prompted a lot of conversations about what is the role of government, and candidly about the failures of the federal government, particularly the administration, in response to the pandemic. But first, I want to take just a minute to tell you about how I approach my work and how the experiences that I've had in my life have shaped my views and my values as your representative. So I grew up outside of Detroit, Michigan, with a mom who was always ahead of her times. I know many of you knew my mom, who recently passed. She was a civil rights activist. She marched for civil rights. She ingrained in my brothers and me an expectation that we would help others and fight for fairness and justice and a better future. She actually moved our family from one church to another when the church wouldn't take a stand on civil rights and against the Vietnam War. So after high school, I joined my best friends and headed west. Sometimes people ask me how I got to Oregon, and the short answer is in a van. And I ended up in Eugene. And I enrolled at Lane Community College, and I know that my family was not in a position to help me with school financially. And I ended up going through Lane and then the University of Oregon and the University of Oregon Law School with a combination of grants, loans, and work study, and a much lower cost of college than today. Because of government investment in higher education, my student loan debt was manageable, and that's not what I hear from too many families today. I had access to an affordable college education, something that today is out of reach, unacceptably, for too many students and families. And it's more so for students of color and first-generation college students. That's why I like Alex's story so much. And when I was a student, I worked at Legal Aid. And that gave me an opportunity to get to know families, and they were struggling through no fault of their own, either because of a healthcare crisis, loss of a job or a spouse. These are just regular families. You know, they're fighting for some kind of fair shot and striving for that better future. And it really influenced how I saw the world, my commitment to public service, and the values I learned from my mom, my experience at Legal Aid. Those really did fundamentally shape my view of not only the communities in which I live, but also the role of government in helping people. So I was fortunate enough when my kids were growing up here in Washington County to be able to stay home with them when they were young. And that's what made the most sense for my family. My youngest child was born the year Measure 5 passed. Now, some of you remember Measure 5. That was a misguided property tax measure that's resulted in basically 3 decades of underfunding schools. I'll note that my youngest is turning 30 this year, so it's been 30 years. I found myself back then volunteering in schools and for organizations, arts organizations, and advocating for public education. I saw broken playgrounds and big class sizes, and I asked what happened to the art classes and the music classes and second language classes, activities that often spark a child's interest and enthusiasm for learning and help them be creative problem solvers. And I felt at the time that kids were somewhat undervalued, and so were educators. and so is education in the community. Plus, there was and still is disparity in the resources between schools and districts. And I note in the congressional district I'm honored to represent, there are 25 different school districts, and there's a lot of disparity still. So my passion for education and striving for that better future led me to run first for the state legislature and then for Congress. And now I'm proud to serve on the Education and Labor Committee and work on so many of the issues that inspired my journey into public service. I chair the subcommittee on civil rights and human services, where our focus is on equity and opportunity in education and giving families the support they need. And that means access to early childhood education and childcare, living wages, workforce training for those who choose that path, affordable higher education, a safe workplace, and really instilling in people that hope that their children will have things better, a little easier than they did. So I discovered through my experiences that government can and should be compassionate and should give people a chance and support them, especially when they're struggling through no fault of their own. And of course, that brings me back to the pandemic. Since the first case in Oregon, I have been in constant communication with state and local leaders, and of course my colleagues in Congress, but also with everyday Oregonians. And it's a stark reminder of that time when I worked at Legal Aid with families who were struggling through no fault of their own. And much of my focus has been on the urgent and increasing needs of children and families at this time, helping thousands of Oregonians who have lost wages, helping them get their unemployment. Some are still struggling to get through that system. Working to get a federal eviction moratorium. I know we have one at the state level. We need one at the federal level as well. More assistance for utility payments to help Oregonians who are housing insecure, and more affordable housing. That's another issue that's been a problem before the pandemic that's now been exacerbated. I'm really proud that my bipartisan bill passed that provides a waiver to our school districts so they can continue to offer nutrition services to students even when their school is closed or students are learning remotely. Because we know kids can't learn when they're hungry, and the need for nutrition assistance is skyrocketing because of the pandemic. And for many kids, their school lunch was their only reliable meal, and we need to make sure they're getting that support and that nutrition. So now I have a Pandemic Child Hunger Prevention Act that will provide meals without charge to all students during the pandemic. I'm also leading the effort to address the childcare crisis. As a mom, I know that children need to be in a safe and loving environment that nurtures their social and emotional development, a place where they can thrive. And families need that access to quality, affordable childcare. Now, before coronavirus, this was already, again, a challenge. Families were struggling to find affordable quality care that fit their needs. Early childhood educators struggle with insufficient pay and benefits. Oftentimes they can't afford childcare for their own family. Oregon was a childcare desert for infants and toddlers before the pandemic. That means one spot for every 3 kids who need care. And now many providers are at risk of closing permanently. We won't have an economic recovery if we don't have affordable, accessible childcare. I recently issued a report on this issue based on my many conversations in Oregon with childcare providers, early childhood educators, parents, and other advocates, where we're focusing on the current unmet need, on the affordability and accessibility, and also making sure that people who are doing the valuable work of taking care of our children earn a living wage. So we can take action. This is something that we have the ability to do, to give access to all families to affordable and high quality care while meeting the needs of the workforce. Childcare providers and early childhood educators are putting themselves on the front line during the pandemic. They need personal protective equipment and workplace protections. This is also an issue, as are many issues in education, of racial and economic justice. The childcare workforce is overwhelmingly women, predominantly women of color. We must make sure that these early childhood providers and educators are paid a living wage, as I said. Along with other barriers, families of color face wage gaps, unpredictable scheduling, and lack of access to paid leave. This makes quality, affordable childcare even less accessible. And we know that Black, Indigenous, and other children of color are more likely to be in the least supported childcare settings. And many childcare settings are segregated by race. So we have some work to do. Congress has already passed multiple coronavirus relief packages, but recently we also passed the Child Care is Essential Act. It's a $50 billion investment in stabilizing childcare. It's time to provide working families with the solutions they need. And I also want to mention, because we all care about children and families, the uncertainty and anxiety right now that so many families are facing with the question of schools opening. Will they open or not? And will there be remote distance learning or not? It's a stressful time. And we all want schools to open. There's no question about that. For students, it's been hard not being with their peers and engaging in hands-on learning, but it has to be safe and it has to be based on science, not science fiction. Hearing from parents, especially moms who are worried about how to navigate these near impossible situations where if they're fortunate enough to still have a job and be able to work from home, they're trying to do their own work and also manage their children's distance learning. And we know when kids are ready to go back to school, when schools are ready to reopen, they need to be ready before reopening. Schools need extensive safety measures. We need to look at our building infrastructure, our HVAC systems, which are so important to make sure kids have clean, safe air. Physical distancing, is there the physical space to keep kids separated? Do they have enough personal protective equipment to make sure that children and educators and staff are all safe? Is there robust testing available? And do we have accommodations for staff or students who are at high risk or have family at high risk? Our public schools need substantial funding to do this. There's no question about it. The House has passed the HEROES Act. We passed that a couple of months ago in mid-May. It's a $1 trillion investment in state and local government support to help prevent budget cuts at the state and local level, which many of those have to do with education, and an additional $58 billion for schools. An additional investment in broadband infrastructure to support distance learning for students and educators. The digital divide is exacerbating inequity. And also this HEROES Act that we passed a couple months ago funds nutrition assistance through SNAP, another way to address food insecurity, which is so prevalent. And so this passed a couple months ago, it's over in the Senate waiting for a vote. Now, additionally, we know that the out-of-school programs that Washington County Kids works on, all these extended learning opportunities, these are a critical part of our education infrastructure and our education system. They enrich students, they help working parents, but also they're very, very important for engaging students and letting them know that there are people who care about them and there's more to learn. I've long advocated for funding for extended learning opportunities, whether it be through our 21st Century Learning programs to support before and after school programs, or our local efforts like Washington County Kids and our education foundations that help fund these important programs. So despite the many challenges, and there are many, I remain hopeful. I think I'm an optimist at heart, looking for opportunity out of this crisis. We've had a vast uprising and a moment of reckoning for racial justice and against police brutality. I was honored to march with Black Lives Matter with students and families in Beaverton. I've been inspired and awed by our student leaders who are true to their values and speaking truth to power. Students and volunteers have been making masks for frontline workers. Our organ companies have stepped up and started manufacturing personal protective equipment when our country is facing that national shortage. And look at our frontline workers in healthcare, in grocery stores, childcare. They're keeping our community running. We can look at this as an opportunity. How do we recover from a pandemic stronger than we were before? How do we re-examine our priorities. It's time to put children here in Washington County and across the country and the world at the top of the priority list. Nelson Mandela once said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." It's the best investment we can make. Let's all work to make that vision, that better future, our reality for Washington County kids and kids across the state and across the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Bonamici. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your being here with us, taking the time to come, but your message of hope is really inspiring. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's a little bit after 7. We have about 12 more minutes for the silent auction, so keep on shopping. Your support makes our work possible. Now it is also my pleasure to introduce you to Senator Jeff Merkley. He was unable to be here in person, but he sent a very important message to us all. I first met Senator Merkley when he was running for the Senate in 2008. I was phoning for Obama. He came down to introduce himself to all the volunteers. When I asked him why I should vote for him, he gave me multiple reasons. As our senator, he has made good on every promise he made that night. I'm so proud of the job he does for us in Washington, D.C. Please welcome Senator Jeff Merkley.
Greetings to everyone at Washington County Kids and all those participating in this year's Reach for the Stars event. I can't think of a better name for this gathering or a better description for the work that all of you at Washington County Kids do, striving to give Washington County's children the resources and support they need to achieve their potential and to thrive. When I was a young kid, my father pointed the doors of the schoolhouse and told me that if I walked through those doors and I worked hard, I could do just about anything with my life. That's the power of public education. But it's only true if the schools are well funded with strong programs to help children overcome challenging obstacles. And we know that for thousands of children in Oregon and right here in Washington County, these obstacles remain. Poverty, food insecurity, lack of early childhood education are just a few of the barriers that far too many young boys and girls face in pursuit of educational success. And each of these barriers has only grown higher as our state and our nation have continued confronting this unprecedented health pandemic. This is a crisis that has not only endangered people's health and safety, but shuttered our schools, our libraries, our after-school care centers, and other places of safety and opportunity for our children. As we again face the rising numbers of cases and setbacks to reopening our state, I'm worried about the long-term impacts on the health and well-being of our youngest citizens. But I'm also confident that, though it will take time, we will get through this crisis together and come out as a stronger community and a stronger state. And the types of centers and programs that all of you at Washington County Kids operate are going to be key to helping us get out of this crisis and back on our feet. Our children need safe spaces where they are looked after and inspired and educated. And parents need your facilities so they can return to the workforce and get our economy humming again as it's safe to do so. This is especially true for our mothers and grandmothers who disproportionately bear the burden of having to leave jobs behind and stay at home when there's no care available for their children. So I am delighted that in these difficult times, you all are continuing to find ways of supporting Washington County's children, helping them reach for the stars, and ensuring that each child has the opportunity to achieve his or her full potential.
Thank you so much,
Greetings to
Senator.
everyone at Washington County.
Oops. All right, that was great. We really appreciate both Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici and Senator Jeff Merkley's support of our work. We know that we can't do it alone, and the help that we get from our legislators, both federally and locally, makes a difference every single day. Now, next, I would like to introduce our president, Katie Riley. I have gotten to know Katie because we both served on the Washington County Commission for Children and Families. And once that was disbanded, she and I and several other volunteers created Washington County Kids. Thank you, Katie, and here she is.
Thank you so very much, everyone, for participating tonight. This is our 4th annual fundraiser, and we're really excited to host this event virtually in support of Washington County Kids. And we're thrilled that you're sharing it with us. I just want to tell you a little bit about what we do. We are a coalition of individuals and organizations who are working to increase access for kids to out-of-school time programs, which include early childhood, after school, and summer. Our mission is to ensure access to quality out-of-school time programs that equip Washington County children and youth for success. We are dedicated to this goal because these programs increase the success of kids both academically and in their careers. Our activities include the opportunity for providers to work together, and we also provide training for providers and their staff to increase program quality. We are committed to seeking solutions that will continue to meet the needs of our community. This year, we are also very grateful to Meyer Memorial Trust. We have received a grant of for 2 years of approximately $20,000 per year to increase our capacity to serve members of the community and increase equity. With this funding, we have been able to contract with Shari Getz, whom you will meet later, and she is helping us provide creative solutions and event support. With your support, we can continue and expand our work to help kids in our county be successful. We thank you again for your participation, and we thank you very much for your support.
Katie, thank you so much for the work you do every single day. You have no idea how tireless Katie Riley is until you work with her on this campaign. She is just such a trooper, and we thank every day that she is leading the way with us. Next up is Tom Hughes, who is also part of Washington County Kids, but also part of our political action committee that we created separate, called Friends of Washington County Kids. And so I would like to introduce you to Tom Hughes. Most of you may know that he's a former president of Metro, our regional government, but he's also served as mayor of Hillsborough from 2001 to 2009. But more importantly, before entering politics, Tom taught government at Aloha High School. He is an educator. Thank you for joining us tonight, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm so happy that so many of you are here, wearing my COVID haircut tonight, and addressing you from my kitchen. would like for us all to be gathered together as we were the last time that I was at one of these events, which was a year ago. But we're doing the best we can with that. I want to compliment Katie and Susan for the work that they've done to move forward a proposal that we have with Washington County that at some point in time, we're going to ask you to provide some help with us to get the county commissioners to agree to provide some funding for a program that would extend the after and before school programs for kids who actually can't afford it. I think one of the things as a teacher for 30 years that I recognized, there was a distinct difference by the time they got to me as a junior and senior than the kids who came from families that were disadvantaged economically and those who had substance. And as a teacher, without having a huge income, but enough of an income to be able to provide those kinds of experiences for my kids, I remember sitting in the stairwell at OMSI, up at the old OMSI, when my kids were going to elementary school for the Saturday programs that we put them through at OMSI. If you could afford to do that, if you came from a family where parents could afford to do that, then those kids got a leg up on the rest of the population. And obviously, the kids who come from families where they couldn't afford that are part of what we call the achievement gap. I believe in my heart of hearts, without seeing any data at all, that when we come out of this COVID sometime next year, we are going to see that achievement gap has tremendously increased. And so how are we going to deal with that? How are the school districts going to deal with that? And I appreciate Congressman Bonamici talking about what the feds are going to do. And I think I really appreciate the fact that she understands the issue as well as those of us who are living it out here. And also Senator Merkley, that what they have said is consistent with what we want to do. But we want to help provide those programs for kids who can't afford to pay for them. In Hillsborough, for example, the BLAST program, which is really good, is only a school year, not even a full school year, and it costs $300 a month for a kid to participate. That means that most of the kids, or many of the kids who are on free and reduced lunches, for example, in our district, aren't going to be able to afford those programs. So we need to infuse some more resources into those programs, expand those programs, and that needs to happen as soon as we come out of this quarantine system, and as soon as we begin to open the schools up, because those kids are going to be the kids who have been falling behind will have fallen further behind. And I just think that it is an urgent issue for us to move forward on that, and we have an opportunity to do that at the local level in a way that many other funding opportunities do not exist. So I'm really thrilled that you're here with us tonight. I'm really thrilled that you're all bidding on all of these auction items and raising money for Washington County kids. And we will make available to you information about how to get in touch with us on this other project that we're working on that I think you'll all be really excited about. With that, again, I want to thank you all for being here and say good night.
Thank you, Tom. I have to say, when the chips are down, Tom is our cheerleader. Recently, we worked very hard to try to get on the ballot for November, and it looks like we're going to go after the May ballot in 2021. But when we were all pretty much feeling very blue about everything, Tom said, we're not going anywhere. We will be here. We will keep working on this. We will not be going away. And I can't tell you, it changed everything. So what you need to know is we are going to keep working on this project together. And with your help, I know we will be successful. So again, I'd like to thank our wonderful sponsors. What's really great about this is that together they have donated in sponsorship money $7,250. Whatever comes in on the silent auction is going to augment that to help us continue this important work. And you have some other ways that you can support us in addition to what our wonderful sponsors have done. But before I get to that, let's give out our door prize. And I'd like you to meet our favorite woman of the night, Shari Getz. She'll be announcing the winner of our door prize.
Hi, everybody. I am so glad to be here. And I'm actually really thrilled to be a part of such a wonderful team. Washington County Kids is an amazing organization with dedicated people working with them. And we're so glad you're here to help support us. So my job first is to tell you who the door prize winner is, which is exciting. And so all of the registered guests and the attendees are in this little holder, and I'm going to draw without looking to get the winner of the mug, and that winner is Rose, I cannot pronounce your name, Wamsgans? Rose Wamsgans is her name. We will be in touch with you, Rose, to arrange for the delivery of your mug. Next, I believe we're going to raffle. Yes. So this beautiful Montanore and More wine basket. Thank you all so much for joining in the raffle. The auction is officially closed now, and I have just checked to make sure I have everybody's entry here. Thanks to the magic of technology and a very complex algorithm that consists of pieces of paper with numbers on them and a pair of scissors, we are going to draw a random number, and it will correspond to one of you to be completely fair. And that is going to mean that the winner of our raffle basket is Christy Dilly. Christy Dilly, congratulations. Thank you so much to all of you for buying a ticket. We will make sure that we work with you, Christy, to get you your wonderful basket. Susan?
Well, congratulations to our winners. So now the next thing I want you to know is tonight really is a Zoom fundraiser for Washington County Kids. So thank you for coming. More importantly, thank you for those of you who participated in the silent auction and the raffle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We literally do need to fund this work, even though, except for Shari, all of us are volunteers. But there's 3 ways that you can participate from here on out. One is you can make a donation. Now, normally, if this was a regular in-person fundraiser, we would be doing the paddle raise, and we go, who would like to give this much? And who would like to give that much? So instead of a paddle raise, I'd like to ask you to look into your heart and think of a number that is the right amount for you to give. And then please go to the link that's on the or click on the link that's in the chat and make your gift tonight. If not, make it tomorrow. Visit our website and please be generous. Give a gift that you know will make a difference. Give what's enough for you to give, given your personal situation. The first way that you can make a difference and make tonight even more successful than it already was. And for those of you who've taken me up on this opportunity, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you. Thank you for your support. Second, I mentioned earlier that we're mostly an all-volunteer organization. And up until this recent grant from my Memorial Trust, that's been almost 100% true. So now we need more volunteers. And there's lots of different jobs. So you may not know what particular skill you have, but if you follow the link on the screen and let us know that you would like to volunteer, we will get back with you. And I promise we will find a job that's just right for you and your skills. And finally, I'm having trouble seeing this. Ah, yes, you can buy stuff. Yes, you can buy stuff at our Washington County Kids website. We have a little store. You didn't win the mug, but you think you just have to have one, you can buy one. We have great t-shirts, and we also have wonderful tote bags. So yeah, I'm asking you to spend money. Either just donate it straight out, shop, and most of all, most important, for those of you who have the time, please come and volunteer. We can use your support. We can use whatever talents and gifts you have to make the work that we do more real in our community. So I will tell you, when we went before the county commissioners, what spoke so profoundly to them was the amount of support we have garnered so far. But it wasn't quite enough. So we're going to need you to share our work with your friends, share the importance, and understand that once COVID is over, the way Tom talked about, the way Senator Merkley talked about, the way Suzanne Bonamici talked about, out-of-school time programs are going to be critical to getting Washington County back to work and keeping us working. You can help us make the difference. And now our time is just about up, and we have some music from, my brain just went dead. We have some more music from Peter Vick. Thank you so much. Oh, before we do that, we want to thank our volunteers. And the volunteers who put this event together are Claire and her husband. Also, oh my gosh, I wore my contacts tonight for the first time in a long time. So you can read the names. I'm not going to read them to you because I had to get off my big screen and onto my phone because the internet went out. Thank goodness for the backup. But these amazing people made tonight possible, from the technology to getting all the gifts donated for the silent auction and for the raffle. Please thank them. If you know them, let them know personally how much you appreciate the work that they've done. I couldn't appreciate them more than I do tonight. So thank you, and here's to more music by Peter Vick.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello. You twinkle above us, we twinkle below. Good morning, starshine. You lead us along, my love and me, as we sing our early morning singing song. Blibby glub, blooby nibby nabby nubby la 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 lo lo. Saba sibby saba nubby yaba naba li li lo lo. Tubi abba walla nubby abba naba, early morning singing song. Good morning, starshine. There's love in your skies, reflecting the sunlight in my lover's eyes. Good morning, starshine. So happy to be, my love and me, as we sing our early morning singing song. Libby club, blooby nibby nabby nubby la 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 lo lo. Saba sibby saba nubby yaba naba li li lo lo. Tubi yaba walla nubby yaba naba, early morning sing, 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 sing a song. Singing a song and humming a song and singing a song. Love in a song, life in a song, singing the song. Sing a song, song is singing, song, 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 sing, 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 sing a song. Song, 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 sing, 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 sing a song.
Good night, everyone, and thank you so much.